It was important for me to have this dream, like my secret thing. Basically, I've been involved on kind of a dream project. I thought in the wreckage of my life, after One from the Heart, I want to make a movie that shows the world of the future.
This is a project that he's been trying to make for over 40 years. He was talking about this movie when we were in the Philippines making Apocalypse Now. That's how long he's been talking about it.
Zoetrope Studios was the dream. And this is a dream Francis has been revising his whole life.
I don't think that there can be a real cinema company that is just made by a lot of independent contractors running around making deals with their agents, trying to substitute personal wealth for artistic satisfaction. What I would like to be part of is an ensemble company that sets as its purpose to practice the various arts of making motion pictures, and that our motto is that we are going to make the best motion pictures humanly possible, the most artistic, the most entertaining, the most engaging, with the best photography and the most imaginative use of its elements, music, etc. And that to do that, you must have a highly disciplined ensemble company. That is a source of great satisfaction, to be part of something like that.
When you do something new, you never know exactly how to do it. You kind of discover it as you work on it, and it tells you how to do it.
This is January 6th, 1983. This is the Megalopolis rough screenplay. Serge Catalina was widely regarded as the greatest industrial designer of his times, but he did not feel very well, and partly it was compounded by the rude facts of his imminent bankruptcy. The lawyers begin to brief him as to the facts of the bankruptcy are. This will have to be based on life.
I thought in the wreckage of my life, after One from the Heart, I want to make a movie that shows the world of the future, but really the practical one that you really could have.
After the studio collapsed, Francis started writing Megalopolis. And you can see all of his energies around Zoetrope, and Zoetrope Studios specifically were really the mulch out of which grew this thing that's now happening, Megalopolis.
While I was trying to make a living and pay off the debt, I would just read and, speculate on what this is. And little by little, I started to make the project more defined. I wanted it to be an epic, and I wanted to rotate around some grand theme or grand subject. And I thought, well, what I really think would be beautiful is I'd like it all to be set against the city of the world, like the Rome of modern times, which I said, well, that's New York.
So I thought that'd be fun if I got to make a Roman epic, but what if I made it and it was really America? So I began to keep notebooks of stuff. Anything I read, I would put in these notebooks.
It's easy to write a story that's like 5 other stories, or you get a book, but to really say I have to write it myself, because if I don't write it myself, I'm going to be a failure, And I thought, geez, this is obviously going to be the last movie I ever make. And I want it to be innovative, so I want maybe the way it uses time to be unusual, and I also love that you can get inside this main character's head. What I eventually arrived at was that I wanted to make a film that's, if I had to tell you the theme, would be the contest between the past and the future. Needless to say, the project just kept beating me up and knocking me on the floor, and the only thing I had going for me is that I was willing to get up and try again. We can't let the past stop us from moving into the future and being daring. So I thought that was something I'd like to see a movie about that. So I thought, oh well, I'll do my elastic time trip. I'll bend time all through the movie, and that will be keyed by his consciousness. So that means I can kind of experiment with consciousness. Well, I got myself in many big pickles. I wrote several scripts like this, and never quite pulled it off. We even had actors come in New York and sit around like New York Today and read the script.
Interior, Cicero's bedroom, night. Frank Cicero is sitting up, gasping. A nightmare. Terry rouses, turns on her elbow.
Hun?
A dream, a terrible dream. I was looking at the full moon when a cloud formed as a hand swallowed it.
I'll turn the tarot tomorrow. There's a psychic called Ablo in the Brooklyn tunnels, an expert on dreams.
What am I, Agamemnon, asking Chalcus why the winds won't blow? Sacrifice your youngest daughter, oh great king. Well,
He lies down, eyes wide open. Terry is already asleep again. Fade out.
Do you want another city project that will be a slum before you can blink? Destroy the megalopolis, and you destroy the future. Tear down the past, not the future. Tear down the world of ready-made slums, the ant heaps the city's pathetic administration shoves you into. The future is our shining hope.
Tear down the world of ready-made slums that those families that run the world shove you into. You were born with the option to be what you want to be.
Basically, where I stand with this is that as of tomorrow, I'm going to start working on the next draft. And so it's extremely helpful for me to kind of hear some of the scenes. Some of the scenes seem to work really good. Others, I don't know. And so I wanted to kind of focus on a couple of issues. So since you now I know for sure you've read it. Clearly, this movie, which was going to be shot in contemporary New York, we weren't going to be able to afford to really shoot it in New York. So we thought, let's get all the shots of the city, like the script says, the giant city. So every day we would go out and shoot. We had our unit. So we're shooting this. I'm working on it. We're having actors come. We're shooting. It's about what are we going to build in the old city that's going to show the new city, the new way of life. And then right while we're doing it, it happens. They blow up part of Lower Manhattan. We just left. We were right there. We even shot 2 days after the tragedy.
Francis would be totally devoted to the question of how to build a city, how to make a better city.
I really like it when you don't think of it as a project for a movie. But you allow me to have the fun of working on it, so I really am doing it.
I think that's the
And
best.
your mentality should be that, so that's going to bring us very down to earth.
That's the best way of really go.
If I could, I would build it. By the end of the movie, he builds it, and you see it.
He has no idea how weak he is at this moment. A perfect target.
Are you guys in character?
We're talking about our honeymoon.
There is a great alliance between the writer and the actor. Really, the work is somewhat similar. And in history, all the great movements always came out of like Clifford Odets with the group theater, or Eugene O'Neill, or Shakespeare, or Bertolt Brecht. So that's a great alliance that is sometimes not observed enough, where you can really share what you're writing with the actors and have them help you evolve something. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Fade in. Exterior full view, enormous model of the city. Mayor Cicero and his team step onto the shaky catwalk.
Were you so cool and collected when you murdered your wife and her body just disappeared?
Were you so cool and collected when you poisoned your wife and her body disappeared?
Here's my plan. A city that people can dream about.
People don't need to dream. They need jobs.
The need is to create something that lives on after a city fair, Mayor. Which is why Megalopolis will be built entirely out of the Megalon, which is imperishable.
Megalon is unsafe. Steel and concrete.
And steel is safe.
Well, Megalon is a new element that I added, and the funny reason I added it was because the art department was giving me all this shit about, oh, you want to have this, and I said, well, it's going to be a new material, so don't worry about the engineering. So we can, oh, how can you build this in 3 months? I said, well, time has no more mastery over my life. It really would take 10 years to build a thing like this.
You know, I have this thing of trying to choose a word that means what the movie means. Like in the case of The Godfather, it was succession, or in The Conversation, it was privacy. This movie is about loyalty, and loyalty is a form of love in a sense. I mean, you're loyal to what you love, but it's a much bigger picture than quite I had imagined.
So I guess the big question is, how do you feel before you set off on this adventure that's been years in the making?
I think I must be a little afraid, a little scared, but I think I take that as a really good thing. Because if I'm a little afraid, it shows that I'm not just doing something that is just I know how to do, or I have no nerves about it all. I'm doing something I don't know how to do, and I don't know how it's going to work out, but I think that's good.
That Francis is making this movie at this time in his life when negativity is so popular. This message of hope and positivity and hope for their future is a beautiful statement.
We just have to get our affairs in order, tell all the little boys what to do. 1, 2, 3, yippee-yay.
It's definitely intimidating to be in a film that's been in the making for 40 years. You can tell in the writing of the script because it is so dense and so imaginative and really does kind of encompass years of thought and imagination. There's a level of pressure that you feel. You know, Francis is finally making it, so I want to deliver. I want to give him everything that he was dreaming of because I love independent films. And this was kind of the most epic, you know, maybe the most expensive independent film that's ever been made.
What I like about the movie, it doesn't say this is what the future looks like. It says more, this is one possibility. And given the long time that this movie has gestated and then been abandoned, many of the things predicted in the script actually are beginning to happen. So it's less fiction and more actuality.
I think Coppola's ambition in this film is nothing less than a consideration of a better world.
Just run. Okay, good.
Everybody say reshoot.
I think filmmaking
filmmaking has to be about having themes that you maybe don't know all the answers to, and it's the work you do on the film with your collaborators and the experience of making it that you arrive at some satisfaction which then becomes the film.